Hello, my name is Red. My pronouns are they, them, and I like Sonic. Ever since I was a kid, when I got Sonic Unleashed and Sonic and the Black Knight for Wii, I have followed the franchise through thick and thin. And I figured I want to show my love for the blue blur in a way, and I thought the perfect way to do that. I'm gonna rank every level in every mainline Sonic game, going through the best and worst that this series has to offer. Before I start, couple ground rules. When it comes to multi-platform releases like Unleash or Colors, I'm sticking to the most readily available version, so that means the PS3 and 360 version of Unleashed and either the Wii or Ultimate version of Colors. Second, mainline games only. No spin-offs, so no Knuckles Chaotix or the Storybook games. And no, I will not be playing Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric because I never owned a Wii U, and also I don't want to. With that being said, the original Sonic. I beat this game recently for the first time through Sonic Origins, which is where I got the footage from, even though I did play it before. I must say, even if this is my preferred version thanks to the addition of the spin dash and drop dash, this game is quite rough. I'm grateful to it for establishing this beloved franchise, and it did set the foundation, but at its best, it's a fine but underwhelming 2D platformer, and at its worst, it's a slog to get through. Nevertheless, I have to rank the zones, so let's get to it. I've always heard people say that Labyrinth Zone is the worst part of the original, and yeah, I agree, this level is a drag. The theme of an underwater temple is cool, but it's brought down by how dull the color palette is, and the music is so unmemorable, which is something a Sonic track shouldn't be. Like, even if a Sonic game is bad, you can still count on the music being a banger, so a bad track in a Sonic game feels like a sin. And I haven't even gotten to the actual level. It's an underwater level in a Sonic game. Why didn't Yuji Naka check to see if hedgehogs could swim before making this game? It's so slow and boring and floaty and not fun at all. And also, some of the enemy placement is whack. Also, the boss against Robotnik is the epitome of laziness. You don't fight him at all, you just chase him between tight vertical corridors with obstacles in the way. Also, no rings. Oh, but there's a shield. What the fucking do? Next zone! Scrap Brain Zone has to be one of the most evil final levels in any game I've played. This stage is full of some of the most unforgiving insta-death traps I've ever seen. Bottomless pits, crushing pistons, or an electric ball underneath a trapdoor that you might not even be able to get out of. Fun! And Act 2 is even worse because it has all of what Act 1 has, but with no checkpoints, so death means back to the start. There's not a moment of rest in this zone. It is death-defying obstacle after death-defying obstacle. And then Act 3 rolls around and Robotnik sends you back to Labyrinth Zone. No! So you have to go through all the bullshit again! What's insulting is the final boss, which is so anticlimactic I struggle to call it a boss. Now, I know what you're saying. Alpha, isn't the final level of a game supposed to be the hardest and most demanding? And the answer to that is yes. But here's the thing. I don't think Scrap Brain earns that due to how inconsistent the difficulty curve of Sonic 1 is. This feels like a difficulty spike, especially compared to how easy the last zone is. Speaking of... Starlight Zone is kinda lame, not gonna lie. The aesthetic of a nighttime city just isn't here, as it pretty much just consists of these ugly green girders. It's also rather short and easy. Like, I feel this would have made more sense as the second level of the game. Enemy placements aren't a thing really, obstacles are easy to avoid. The only part I find really innovative are these seesaw obstacles, where you have to use the weight and momentum of these spike balls to fly yourself forward. Sometimes they're used for trickier platforming, this one speed trick I discovered, and for the fight against Robotnik. That's a pretty cool and unique way to test your skill with a specific platform. Unfortunately, as it stands, this level's kinda mid. For some reason, a lot of Sonic fans don't like Marble Zone, but I don't know. I think it's a pretty good zone, and a natural way to continue off of Green Hill Zone. Like, I think it makes sense to start the game showing what it's all about, that being maintaining speed, and then showing that you just can't press right all the time to beat the game. You gotta pause and think about what you're doing, and make split-second reactions. Don't be like that one guy on Miiverse. I'd say where this level falters is in the third act, where it definitely has those moments of stopping and waiting, which isn't very fun, and the Robotnik boss is very lame. Just jump between the platforms when you have to, and hit him before he sets fire to one. Overall, a fun level that sadly loses its luster at the end. I mean, come on, it's Green Hill Zone, what else could be said? It's the level Sega keeps bringing back, whether we want to or not. pretty much set the standard of what a Sonic level is. It's all about keeping on keeping on. It has it all. Enemies, power-ups, spikes, got great music, and ends with a decent first fight with Robotnik. It's Green Hell Zone. What else could I say? Moving on. Probably not what you expected, but whatever. I really like Spring Yard Zone, and if you have a problem, cope. This zone is a complete package in my eyes. It's challenging, but not annoyingly so. It's got fun and unique obstacles that are implemented well. The enemy placements feel warranted and doable. It has my favorite track in the game. The Robotnik fight is tense, yet pretty fun. Yeah, not much to say. It's just a really good and well-made zone. So I feel that kind of speaks to my opinions on Sonic 1 as a whole. Even at its best, there isn't a whole lot to talk about. Thankfully, however, future games would improve upon the foundation that was set, and I have a lot more to say about the best levels of some of the best Sonic games. We will get to those eventually. Let me know what your thoughts on Sonic 1 as a whole and how you'd rank the zones. Till then, this has been Alpha Red saying farewell.